The a-hole for refusing to pay for my stepdaughter's wedding because her real daddy is the one that's gonna walk her down the aisle. So let me tell you guys about my stepdaughter, all right? She wants her real daddy to walk her down the aisle. Now let me give you a little backstory on me and my stepdaughter. She just graduated from university, which I paid for. Now, she went to an in-state university, but it still cost me about $40,000. Now, I also bought her a car. I bought her a car straight after high school. That way she could go back and forth to school. I bought her a car. She still lives with me and her mother. She does not have a job. Now, she's set to be married on August the 8th. And for the past 6 months, that's all her mother been talking about doing. Being occupied with, being consumed most of their time. Now, her daddy, he don't contribute to not 1 cent on her. Not her education, not child support, which is partly her mother's fault because, she didn't fight for that. I guess that's just what the settlement was. And he only around to make promises. I do that for you, I do this for you, and then take off. And then she'd be heartbroken. But she adores her father, right? So, like I said, she's set to be married in August. And the wedding venue, I told them they could have it in my home. The wedding venue can hold about 250 people, right? Now I said, hey, I got a list of 20 people that I want to come to the wedding. I'm paying for this at my house. I want these 20 people to come. Do y'all know Saturday, I see one of my friends at the golf course, right? He's supposed to come to the wedding. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna see you at the wedding, right? He said, I only got an announcement. I didn't get an invite. I'm like, nah. I'll let my girlfriend and stepdaughter know to send out the invitations on these few people, and you're supposed to get an invite. He said, I got something, but it was an announcement. So we walked to his car because I want to check, right? And sure enough, it was an announcement. So I went and talked to my girlfriend and said, did you invite those 20 people to the wedding that I told you about? Man, she didn't invite none of them. She said 250 people is a little tight, and I don't think we can get your 20 people in there. Man, I was pissed. And the people that were supposed to come, they pissed as well. Then she gonna say if any of the people that we already invited don't RSVP, then we'll get some of your people in here. I'm like, what? Man, that's crazy, man. Don't even worry about it, man. I'll just be mad. All right? So now, the crazy part about it is, when I check the invitations, they don't even have my name on them. They have her real daddy and her on the invitation that I paid for. I paid for these invitations. How you got a real daddy on there, her mama on there? Cool. Couple days later, I'm hosting the venue at my house, hosting the wedding family at my house, okay? It's me, stepdaughter, girlfriend, groom, and their parents, right? Trying to help everybody get real acquainted. Then a surprise guest shows up, my stepdaughter's real daddy. And I'm like, you know what? Cool. He probably just coming to the wedding, right? But tell me why my stepdaughter proceeds to stand up and announce that her real daddy is giving her away at the wedding. What? The wedding that I'm paying for, that in my house, the daddy don't do nothing for you, is giving you away? Oh, and they were just so happy and smiling. Oh, yay, great. Inside, I was fuming. Inside, I wanted to cry or punch somebody. Probably wanted to do both, honestly. So I took that time to stand up and give a toast as well. I said, I owe the groom and the bride a deep debt of gratitude because they have opened my eyes tonight. Oh, everybody at the table was just smiling. They have let me know that my position in this family is not what I thought it was. Oh, you should have saw the frowns, man. Now they mad. It done got serious. I let them know I am not the godfather or, the head of the family that I thought I was, the loved one that would be seeked out in times of need. Nah. I realized I'm an ATM. Yeah. So, since I have been replaced as host of the wedding, I shall be giving my financial duties to the new host. And I will back out monetarily. Yeah. Yep. Now, after the announcement, a whole lot of snickering was going on around the table, right? A lot of mumbling, but they didn't say anything to me. Nobody addressed me now. Now, later that night, tell me why my girlfriend gonna come to me talking about how I'm ruining so much, how I'm ruining so much for backing out, and how her daughter ain't gonna have her dream wedding, and how her daughter ain't this and that. Okay, well, it's apparent that I'm not family in this family. So the family should take care of it, right? That's my stepdaughter. I mean, it ain't even my stepdaughter, really. It's my girlfriend. I just happened to be around her for the last 10 years. But tell me why the next day, my girlfriend trying to show me how much I'm ruined, right? She takes me to where they planning the wedding, and the wedding planner showed me, all the things they got going down, everything they got set up. I look at the venue. They got some father-daughter dances, right? 3 songs. All of them cater to her real dad, not me. I looked at the food they got. 2 of the dishes got stuff I'm allergic to in it. I just started laughing. Like, they want me to pay for this? His name on it, not mine. His songs, not mine. The food, I can't eat the food. And the 20 people out of 250 that I wanted, they can't even come in my house? Wow. Okay. It's wild, man. So I went on ahead and let her know I will not be there, and neither will my money. Yeah. And they will no longer be at my house either. And you will no longer be at my house or your daughter. Because, yeah, I'm not family. I'm not even important enough to be put up on the brochure. It's crazy, man. Yeah. So I let her know that I'm not paying for it, and you and your daughter can get out of my house because apparently we're not a family. Yeah, we just 2 people stand up in this house, and I'm an ATM. Have fun at the wedding, man. Rise and shine, beautiful souls. Now, normally I just play it back, but this time I want to use some tact and some sensitivity before addressing this, because he has done so much for this child, and I know the child is better off because of him, being that the father is not fulfilling his parental obligations. I see this often in these dynamics. The actual parent and the step parent can believe that because the step parent has been there for the child, spending time with them, spending resources on them, invested in that child, they will start to believe that that step parent has became the real parent. And then the actual real parent that's on the outside of the home, they get punished for their lack of being there for the child, their lack of providing resources, their lack of effort. And I just want you guys to understand that is not the right mentality to have, because to your child, their actual parent is always going to be their actual parent. All right. So I got a couple of rules here, roles that I want to give you guys. Often whenever you're fathering a child or mothering a child, you're the step parent, you don't know what your role is. So you'll try to assume many. And many of the things you do, sometimes you can get emotionally invested in it and literally try to assume the role of their actual father or mother. So it's going to be a rude awakening, but it's some things I want you guys to look at before I even replay this video back, so y'all can kind of get this standard. And then whenever we play the video, you can see where my thinking is coming from, right? So if you ever in a situation where you are a step parent and you're wondering, what is my role? What is my duty to this child? I'm not their real father, and I want to be part of, I want to be treated as if they're real father if I'm going to provide, right? Well, know this understanding before you go into a relationship where you are stepfathering or step parenting a child, okay? Number 1 rule. Now, I want to go through what is not your role first, and then we'll get to what is your role. So, number 1, your role is not to replace anyone. Not to replace anyone. Please understand that, because the relationship didn't work out between that mother and that biological father, you don't have to come in there and replace the biological father, for you are not their father. Do you understand? Your role is not the disciplinarian. And I'm going to elaborate on that because you'll take part in that, but you are not the main person to discipline this child, okay? Number 3, your role is not to provide for the child. Now, I mean, in part it is, but your role is not that. Please understand that, okay? Your role is not to make up for lost time, regardless of how much time that child has missed with their parent, their real parent, the traumas they have gone through. You are not there to fix it. You cannot repair that. You can only be the best that you can be for that child, all right? Number 5, you are not the authority over the child. You are not the authoritarian over that child. Please understand that. I know you're wondering, okay, then where's my value going to come from? Okay, I can take care of the child, but I can't be the authoritarian over it. How can I, protect and invest in a child if I can't be the authority figure? Well, here's what your roles actually are, all right? Number 1, your role is to take part in all roles, being there where you can, but not assuming the role. Do you understand? You are a step parent. We have to understand this. The biological father has a responsibility. If he is not fulfilling those responsibilities, if you can, as a stepfather, take part in that role at helping the mother to fulfill that responsibility. But you are not there to be the sole provider, authoritarian, disciplinarian for a child that does not belong to you biologically. Please understand that. Number two, your role is to build a relationship with the child, not to just come in being even a partial authoritarian. You got to think about the child, okay? They already don't have their actual parent, whether that be the mother or the father, and you would be asking the child to just listen to this person because they're with you. You don't want to mess your child up like that. You want the child to build a relationship with this person, this individual, so they can trust the individual, know that this individual is trying to protect them. You understand? They'll be more apt to perform for him or respond to him instead of just like, this is going to be your stepdad. You got to listen to what he say. Do you understand? That's too big of a burden to put on the stepfather and the child, being that stepfather will now be responsible for that child and everything he tells them. If it goes the wrong way and he is not the actual father of that child, as the mother, I'm sure she's not going to take that well. All right. So let her be the primary authoritarian or disciplinarian. You be the person there to help fulfill those roles. It's not your child. All right. Your role is to understand your authority. How do you do this? You get with the mother. You find out she has a son. You ask her, is the father taking part in his life at all? If she says no, you know you have quite a plate here. Right? So now you need to get with her and find out what does she need? What would be helpful? Because that's really the ultimate goal as a husband to a woman who has a child, is to be as much help to improve the situation as much as you possibly can. You understand? All right. So your role is to set appropriate boundaries once you find out the basis of your authority. So based on what she allows you to be able to do with that child, set appropriate boundaries. Do you understand? Your role is to set a positive example above all. That's your number one role. Set a positive example. You're not going to be able to directly go discipline this child. So set the example, family. Be the person that they never had in their life. Not by replacing somebody, but by being that listening ear. By providing advice that they can't get anywhere else. By offering support. You understand? But know that in all that you give, you are not their father. So don't think that that's going to help you assume some type of authority role. Don't do it. You're only going to end up with your heart hurt. All right, now, with that being said, let's run it back. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my stepdaughter's wedding because her real daddy is the one that's going to walk her down the aisle? Unfortunately, yes. Beautiful person for paying for the wedding, but you are wrong for withdrawing because she won't let you walk her down the aisle. Just because you're footing the bill does not mean you get to control it. Remember, it is her wedding. So if she wants her father to walk her down the aisle, regardless of how he hasn't been there or whatever faults you can find in him, she should have that because that is her real father. If you're truly doing this with a kind heart, you wouldn't mind sitting to the side and watching her walk down with her father and clapping for that. At least he'll be there for that. If he's been doing broken promises, hopefully he shows up and truly walks his daughter down so he can make some great memories with her this time. But hey, if that's what she wants and you already willing to pay for it, I would not pull my funds back because I cannot be the person walking her down the aisle. Now, this is before the spell is spoken because he asked a simple question here. And it would simply be, yes, unfortunately, you would be wrong. But now he's going to give all of his reasonings. Now we'll all get invested emotionally into the reasonings and then it'll kind of, shift our thinking. But the logic is simply, you are not here to replace anyone. Rule number one. Let's continue. So let me tell you guys about my stepdaughter, all right? She wants her real daddy to walk her down the aisle. Now let me give you a little backstory on me and my stepdaughter. She just graduated from university, which I paid for. Now, she went to an in-state university, but it still cost me about $40,000. Now, I also bought her a car. I bought her a car straight after high school. That way she could go back and forth to school. I bought her a car. She still lives with me and her mother. She does not have a job. Now, she's set to be married on August the 8th. And for the past 6 months, that's all her mother been talking about doing, being occupied with. All right, so it's great, absolutely amazing that he footed the bill for her college. That is awesome. And he bought her a car too. Great man you have here. But even in doing that, you are still not the father. You are here to take part in all roles. Now, if you have taken part in the finances, the resources, then that's a beautiful thing, but you don't have to do that. Now, that's why I say know your authority. Know the situation that woman is in, if the father is in the life or not, how much he's contributing to the child and to the family. And then you know what you have to do from there. If you're willing to go into the family, being the resource for the child, just that's fine. You can do that. No, they're not going to stop you from doing that. But just you can't. You're still not replacing anyone. And so that's what I'm saying. If even though he's done those things for the child, that's beautiful. It has nothing to do with walking her down the aisle. Now, easily, after having done that much for a child, it's easy to get your emotions tied up in it and believe that you're owed something, so to speak. But that's not doing it from a truly kind heart. If you paid for her school, it was so she could have a better life. If you bought her a car, it was so she could have transportation to school, just like he said. So let's not try and make that mean that she has to do something for you in the future if you did this with a loving heart, man. All right, let's stay pure. Let's occupied with, be consumed most of their time. Now, her daddy, he don't contribute to not 1 cent on her. Not her education, not child support, which is partly her mother's fault because, she didn't fight for that. And I guess that's just what the settlement was. And well, she probably should have, but it's his fault because he's not taking care of his child. So if she doesn't take him to court for child support, it's still on him if he is not taking care of his child. It's not her fault if he's not doing his responsibilities. You understand? But let's continue. And he only around to make promises. I do that for you. I do this for you, and then take off. And then she'd be heartbroken. But she adores her father, right? So, see, even though the father breaks promises, she still adores her father and wants every opportunity to be around her father and make memories with her father. And you should respect that and encourage that. You understand? You should actually encourage that because that's her biological father. The fact that he breaks promises does not remove him from being her biological father. And you can see that it doesn't because she still loves him. You can't live in that. You cannot live in that. That's why I say you cannot assume authority over the child. You can't start making decisions for them. You might feel like, I wish she'd just give up on him, turn away from him. He keeps breaking her heart and making broken promises. Man, you could offer advice, and it should never be to walk away from their father. It should be to offer support while they're going through this thing. If he can't be there, maybe you can show up. If he can't do it, maybe you can do it. Again, help out where you can when parenting this child. It takes a village, so learn your role and then operate in that role effectively. You understand? But don't think that the things that you do for this child is going to somehow give you ownership or rights to this child. It is not your baby. Let's continue. Like I said, she's set to be married in August. And the wedding venue, I told them they could have it in my home. The wedding venue can hold about 250 people, right? Now I said, hey, I got a list of 20 people that I want to come to the wedding. I'm paying for this at my house. I want these 20 people to come. Be better if he just asked if he could invite the 20 people or tell her that the place holds about 230 people so he can invite his 20 people. But not, since I'm paying for it, let me have 20 people come to your wedding. Do y'all know Saturday, I see one of my friends at the golf course, right? He's supposed to come to the wedding. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna see you at the wedding, right? He said, I only got an announcement. I didn't get an invite. I'm like, nah. I'll let my girlfriend and stepdaughter know to send out the invitations on these few people, and you're supposed to get an invite. He said, I got something, but it was an announcement. So we walked to his car because I want to check, right? And sure enough, it was an announcement. So I went and talked to my girlfriend and said, did you invite those 20 people to the wedding that I told you about? Man, she didn't invite none of them. She said 250 people was a little tight, and I don't think we can get your... If they're going to say they're going to have 20 people come to the wedding and tell him that, then they should have done that. That's wrong to send them an announcement and not an invite. That's absolutely wrong. But I don't think he should have told them, the guy in the business either, the one he wanted to come to the wedding. If he's telling him the business, that's going to be the reason that they're upset. Now, they're caught up in a family matter. If I were him, upon learning that they only got an invite, I got an announcement instead of an invite, I would have just said, maybe that's a typo. I'll check on it. And I wouldn't tell them that I told them this and they should have done it this way and get them emotionally caught up in it. Instead, just go back and talk to the mother and your daughter and try and see if you can get those 20 people to come. But if I was you, I'd just do it with a pure heart. But I would say, don't tell me you're going to do something if you're not going to do it. If you felt like I was wrong for asking, you should have said that then. But I don't know why it means so much to him for those 20 people to come to her wedding. But again, it's her wedding. Let's continue. 50 people is a little tight, and I don't think we can get your 20 people in there. Man, I was pissed. And the people that were supposed to come, they pissed as well. Then she's gonna say if any other people that we already invited don't RSVP, then we'll get some of your people in here. I'm like, what? Say 20 people don't RSVP. Now those people that wanted to come to the wedding, that got announcements that he told about it, are pissed. So now let's say they get to come to the wedding. You think they're gonna be looking real pleased to be there? You think there'll be any animosity there? Probably, right? So why risk ruining her wedding, right? Let's go. Man, that's crazy, man. Don't even worry about it, man. I'll just be mad. All right? So now, the crazy part about it is, when I check the invitations, they don't even have my name on them. They have her real daddy and her on the invitation that I paid for. I paid for these invitations. How you got a real daddy on there, her mama on there? He should have said all that when he said he's going to pay for the wedding. I want my name on the invitations. I want the food to be the food I like. I want the songs to be the songs I like. I want to walk you down the aisle. He should have said all of that, because his expectations are being let down, and he's upset about it when it doesn't go his way. And so that's what's leading to his negative emotions and his negative outlook. Well, let's continue. Cool. Couple days later, I'm hosting the venue at my house, hosting the wedding family at my house, okay? It's me, stepdaughter, girlfriend, groom, and their parents, right? Trying to help everybody get real acquainted. Then a surprise guest shows up, my stepdaughter's real daddy. And I'm like, you know what? Cool. He probably just coming to the wedding, right? But tell me why my stepdaughter proceeds to stand up and announce that her real daddy is giving her away at the wedding. What? The wedding that I'm paying for, that in my house, the daddy don't do nothing for you, is giving you away? And they were just so happy and smiling. Yay, great. Now look, for them to stand up and do an announcement that he's not going to be, that the real daddy's walking down the aisle, I think that's a little cold. They should have pulled him to the side and told him that she's going to have the real father to walk her down the aisle, sort of like keep him in the loop with the plans. I mean, maybe he could have helped out with this wedding and not just expected them to get everything that he wanted, right? But I mean, I don't think this is something they agreed upon, to have him walking down the aisle, and I can understand the letdown, especially if you believe that she's going to ask you because you've done so much for her. That expectation being let down is going to hurt. Shouldn't cause you to be angry though, and cause resentment towards you. And listen to him right here at the end. He's like, they're over there all happy, and he's being kind of like, he doesn't like that. And I want you guys to understand, not that he is evil, but you got to think about it. She's happy with her father walking her down the aisle, and he's over there upset. Yo, that's gotta be bad, because that's not what's best for the daughter, his stepdaughter. If he had it the way he wanted it, her heart would be broken. That can't be right, y'all. But let's continue. Inside, I was fuming. Inside, I wanted to cry or punch somebody. Probably wanted to do both, honestly. So I took that time to stand up and give a toast as well. I said, I owe the groom and the bride a deep debt of gratitude, because they have opened my eyes tonight. Oh, everybody at the table was just smiling. They have let me know that my position in this family is not what I thought it was. Oh, you should have saw the frowns, man. Now they mad. It done got serious. I let them know I am not the godfather, or, the head of the family that I thought I was. See, because you didn't walk her down the aisle, now the position in the family is in question. Brother, you paid for her college $40 grand. You bought her a car. You're there for her. You support her. Man, your position is solidified. It's just not her real father. You want it all. Listen, when you meet a woman, you don't meet the child first and want to be the child's father, so you go be the woman's husband by default. You love the woman. You're going to be the child's father by default, stepfather by default. If you go and adopt the child, then okay, then you are the disciplinarian. You are replacing the mother or father. You are the authoritarian. But when you are a stepfather, that means you love the person, and by default, you're going to help raise the child. It's not your child. Yo, you're doing too much. And now your heart's broken, because now you're questioning your position in your family, all because you thought your role was the actual father. You thought if you paid for the wedding, she wants you to walk her down the aisle. Actually, the father should be paying for the wedding. See, you've already usurped that authority, and you believe that it comes with it all. Regardless of all those roles that is not your role that I said in the beginning, know this: if you assume any of those roles, it does not mean that you assume taking somebody's place. Please understand that even if you say, okay, she says you can be the disciplinarian. Cool. You can be the authoritarian. Cool. You can be the provider. Cool. Guess what? You're still not their father. You're still not. You can do those things if you're allowed. That's why I say know your authority. Know your role that you're playing by finding out what all the child needs. But it still doesn't make you the father. So have a pure heart when raising a child. Just love them. Be there. Understand them. Build a great bond with them. Do for them if you can, but don't expect nothing when you do. You're not their father. You're not their mother. Let's continue. Now they mad. It done got serious. I let them know I am not the godfather or, the head of the family that I thought I was, the loved one that would be seeked out in times of need. I think that he is everything he just said that he wasn't. He's still the person that they love and they come and seek out in their times of need. He's still that person. He just believes that if he's there to be there when they need him, that he should be there all the time. That's just not how it works. So now he's questioning how they feel about him and questioning his value to the family. The value's there. You did pay for her college. Did she finish? Absolutely. She came back, lived there. So he provided a roof over her head. He's been there in her life for 10 years. This means, and just being how much he's been there for her shows that she sees him as somebody she can come to when she's in need. That's exactly what a stepfather does. Get in where you fit in. Absolutely. If they need you, step up. Step up. You understand? You're a stepfather. You're not the father. You got to understand that your role would diminish just a bit because you're a step, right? Let's continue. Nah. I realize I'm an ATM. Yeah. So, since I have been replaced as host of the wedding, I shall be giving my financial duties to the new host, and I will back out monetarily. Yeah. Shouldn't do that as a punishment because you didn't get what you wanted. However, the father should be the one paying for the wedding based on, how we do things socially here. The father pays for the wedding. So, yeah, get with the father. You could have pulled him to the side, though, and say, hey, man, why don't you help me out with this wedding? Hey, she's walking, you're walking her down the aisle. She still wants you to be very much a part of it. Can you contribute to helping take care of some of these expenses for the wedding? Or either assume all of it? Can you do it? But don't pull back and just ruin her wedding like, okay, I ain't paying for it then. Y'all just on your own. Man, you offered. You got to understand you're going to distort or bring a wedge into the relationship between you and this girl that you say you love, that you're raising with a pure heart. It ain't going to go over easy. You understand? Let's continue. Yep. Now, after the announcement, a whole lot of snickering was going on around the table, right? A lot of mumbling, but they didn't say anything to me. Nobody addressed me now. Now, later that night, tell me why my girlfriend gonna come to me talking about how I'm ruining so much, how I'm ruining so much for backing out, and how her daughter ain't gonna have her dream wedding, and how her daughter ain't this and that. Okay, well, it's apparent that I'm not family in this family. It's so apparent that I'm not family. So he's broadened this all the way to I'm not even family because I couldn't walk her down the wedding. You live in the house. She lived in the house with you, of course, until she's getting married. You put her through college. I'm sure you have a great relationship with her. You are family. You're just not her father. You're just not her father. You got to learn to accept this type of stuff, man. It's bleeding all the way into him. And then look, check this out. The mother says you always hurting us by pulling out. So pause. But it sounds like, hey, he's let her down. He's got that's a broken promise. I'll pay for your wedding. Now you got a broken promise. So does that mean that, hey, your role should be taken from you because you got broken promises? You understand? Well, let's continue. It's family. So the family should take care of it, right? That's my stepdaughter. I mean, it ain't even my stepdaughter, really. It's my girlfriend. I just happen to be around her for the last 10 years. See, but you're not even married to the lady, and you're already assuming a role to her children. Wrong move. Before you are a stepfather, you got to marry the woman. I should have said that first. That should be the number one rule. You're not a stepfather if that's your girlfriend, man. You ain't even showed that you that serious about her to be fathering her child. So 10 years after putting in this work, look at where it gets you. Man, and if that relationship ends, you're going to know for sure you're not the father. Especially with that just being a girlfriend. She ain't going to want you around or around her child at all. I don't know, man. I don't think we know how to do this thing. He's sitting here thinking he's a full-fledged stepfather. He's not even married to the lady. Let's continue. That's 10 years. But tell me why the next day My girlfriend trying to show me how much I'm ruined, right? She takes me to where they planning the wedding, and the wedding planner showed me, all the things they got going down, everything they got set up. I look at the venue. They got some father-daughter dances, right? 3 songs. All of them catered to her real dad, not me. I looked at the food they got.
Now they could have gave the man a song. They could have gave him a dance with her. Not all 3 of them go to the daddy, or give him 3 songs and at least give the man 1 song. I'm sure the father knows he ain't been there, and he knows that she loves this man too, and he's been there as a provider. He's been there to support her, love her, form a relationship, a bond with her. Yeah, I think it would be perfectly righteous to dance with him, to give him a dance as well. But again, maybe her husband ain't okay with that. You never know. You are just a stepfather. Maybe he don't feel comfortable sitting there watching you dance. You should just ask her instead of being in your emotions about it. Hey, I would love to have a dance with you. You think that'll be possible? Ask, even though you're paying. But let's continue.
2 of the dishes got stuff I'm allergic to in it. I just started laughing. Like, they want me to pay for this? His name on it, not mine. His songs, not mine.
See, now he's just too caught up in it. So if you pay for the food, it's got to be all food that you like. The food is for the wedding, the guests. Dude, they're going to order whatever food they wanted to order for their wedding, probably without you in mind. Is it your wedding? I'm not trying to be funny or hard on the brother. I want you to think about this. You paid for her a wedding. So she's going to order the food that she wants at this wedding. And now you're looking at it saying, hey, I'm allergic to this food. It's not your wedding. You can go anywhere, anytime to get the foods that you like. I'm sure it's something there that you can eat. Or you should have told them a special dish that you did want them to have. It would have been better that way. So he's doing all this stuff up front and expecting them to know exactly what he wants and how to, I guess, repay him or fulfill his desires through this wedding. And he's getting upset when it don't go his way. Before you know it, man, I can understand that the mother or father was like, I don't even want to ask you to do nothing else because of how you behave. Even though what he's doing is a beautiful thing. His emotions being caught up into it is making him be the problem, literally.
Mine.
Let's go.
His songs, not mine.
His songs,
food,
not mine.
The food. And the 20
the
people
food,
out of
I can't eat
250.
the food. And the 20 people out of 250
in my house.
Did I want it? They can't even come in. It's in my house.
It's wild, man.
Stop it.
So I went ahead and let her know. I will not be
Somebody
there
pulling my
with my
leg.
money.
I let her know. This
And they would no longer be at my house either.
But I won't
and you
be
would no
there.
longer be at my house.
And neither will my
or
money.
your daughter. Because, yeah, I'm not family.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even important
And
enough
it will
to
no longer be at my house.
Put up on the brochure.
Oh, yeah. And you will no longer be
man.
at my house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So,
dog. Because, yeah,
I let
I'm
her
not
know
family.
that I'm not paying for it.
I'm not even
and you and
important
your daughter
enough to
can
be
get out of
put
my house. Because
on
apparently we're not a family.
the brochure.
Yeah, we're just 2 people standing up in this house. And I'm an 18.
Yeah. So,
Have
let
fun
her
at
know.
the wedding, man.
I'm still not paying for it. Wow. The brother ended the whole relationship and put them both out. Absolutely unreal, man. That ain't right at all. Now, after realizing that you didn't have as much authority as you did, you probably would reconsider the whole relationship and things like that. Maybe consider starting your own family. But you don't do this as an act of punishment. Like, since y'all didn't put me on the brochure, since I didn't have any type of part to play in it as far as anything other than finances, since I'm not catered to during this wedding, hey, I'm ending the whole thing. So he's like, I'm ending the whole relationship because we're just 2 people playing house. No, you were in a loving relationship. You were being there for a child that you are not the father to, which was making her life better. You've made her life better. I'm sure you made the mother's life a lot better than it would have been without you. All of that is still very much real. Doesn't make it fake because you're not her actual father and you had to find out the hard way. You understand? Paying the money for her college, buying her a car, whatever else you've done for her during your 10 years of knowing her, none of that has anything to do with who she chooses to walk down the aisle with. It's her actual father, man. So I think at that moment, what he should do is put himself in his stepdaughter's shoes. Okay? If he has parents, I'm sure he would probably still love and want his parents in his life regardless. You understand? Even when the child says, hey, because you hadn't been there, then my stepdaddy is my new daddy. They even got it wrong. You're not if you are the biological father or mother, no one can take that position from you. Please do what you're supposed to do because the child is depending on you, and other people who try to step in and fulfill those roles can never replace your role to that child. You are direly important. I would say you're more important to that child than any other person in the entire world, for it is you who caused their creation. They wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for you. Please be responsible for what you create, because in your failure to be there for your child, you're likely creating so much damage. Even though you're out the picture, look at what's going on in somebody else's home because they're trying to be there for your child that you ain't there for. When your child still wants to spend time with you, it's going to cause problems in that other home, as you can see. Because those people who are loving your child, they want to be seen by your child as the father, or at least somebody who's very important to be at these events where the child thinks they're important. But the child's always going to first go to you. You know, so I as a father, you should look at it like you get first dibs. But if you don't really love being a parent to your own child, I'm going to say you have the first responsibility. And all stepfathers must know that. The actual real parent, or all step parents must know that the actual real parent has got the first dibs or the first priority or responsibility to that child. You understand?
All right, real quick before we end this video, okay? I just want to address all the people out there who may have lost a parent. It's heartbreaking. We have broken hearts. You can even say that we're broken, okay? But what happens in our life is when some adult does something for us that our own parent didn't do, we automatically say they are like a mother, they are like a father. So we start giving them these titles that, frankly, they're not worthy of, regardless of what they're doing for us. They're simply not our parents. We can respect their advice as for being a mentor, someone who is helping you make better decisions in your life, and love them as that. Someone who's helping coach your life, love them as that. Someone who's providing things for you. If they're giving you a place to stay, if they're providing financial needs, that's all a beautiful thing. But please know that it doesn't make them your parents. Me growing up without a mother, I had so many women tell me, I'll be your mother. And they were saying this because they felt sorry for me, not because they truly meant it. Because when push came to shove, they were not acting like my mother, okay? And it meant a lot to me when they would say this. So I would start literally living through them, like believing they're gonna be like my mother, like they're gonna fulfill this role. And when they would, you know, break my heart because they didn't do that, actually, I'd be let down. I'm talking about I harbor emotions about it for years. One lady told me she'd be like a mother to me. She let me borrow a VHS tape. I ended up losing the VHS tape, and she told me never come back to her house again. Broke my heart over a VHS tape. One lady, she was like my mother for many years until her husband died, who was like my father, and who I would say was like my father. But these are just beautiful people. And I harbored negative emotions towards her after he died because she stopped reaching out to me. I became the only one reaching out. And when I noticed that, I had negative emotions. And she didn't deserve that type of anger from me. She was trying to be my mother or saying that stuff because she felt sorry for me. You understand? But me being a child, not knowing any better, I invested too much into that, you know? They cannot be your true mothers and fathers, family, even if they are providing certain roles for you, even if they mean well. When the push comes to shove, they just haven't been shown to be able to do that. You're not their real child. And so just like in this case, notice how tore up he was about not being able to walk her down the aisle, not being able to pick out the foods or just get the love or notoriety that he believes he deserved. But when he didn't get it, he kicked her out. Like he kicked her out. Now, there's no way the mother and daughter were being malicious about this. They probably just excited and moving too fast. And I mean, unfortunately didn't consider him, but he's ready to break up with her and kick the daughter out. Yo, you said you love her like a child, right? Or you want her to love you like a father, but he just proved it. Even though his heart is broken, like, again, it's just simply not your mother's and father's family. Hopefully we can grow past this and stop putting people, even if they're good to us, in that position and just love them for what they do for us and the role they have in our life. Yeah, mother and father is a sacred title, and no one can earn that title from you except for the people who gave you life. Now, I can understand if someone adopts you, completely adopts you, and you didn't have either parent, then absolutely, they are the authoritarian in your life. And if you want to call them mother or father, then that's absolutely fine. You understand? Because they are saying, truly, I'm going to be your mother and father. They adopted you. Okay, they came and adopted you. You understand? But I just believe those are sacred titles, and we shouldn't be throwing them around. Godfather means Godfather. Stepmother means stepmother. Godmother means godmother. Stepfather means stepfather. And we'll be calling people, especially in the black community, we'll call people godmothers and godfathers who have not agreed to take responsibility for your child if you die. And we'll simply just be calling them that because it sounds good. We got to stop this, man. Okay, these are sacred titles. Know the roles that come with them so we can fulfill them properly. These children are depending on us. All right?
But that's it, family. Let me know in the comments what you think. Be evolution, be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it is in that chaos that you have found yourself. Do not forget to follow me on YouTube, Kevin Wesley and the Truth Factory. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but I may not be here longer, guys. So follow now while you still can before you end up looking for me on Facebook. Totally forget about me or something. So I'll see you guys soon. Peace.